Hey guys, this is Two Kids in a Trenchcoat, a football podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob Rosenfarm.
I'm your other host, Ryan Sharp.
And I am their producer, Josh Sackles.
Josh is back this week. We missed him last week. He had some work things to do.
I did have some work things to do.
We almost fell apart without you.
I don't know how we survived.
You almost didn't make it.
You guys sounded pretty great, though.
We appreciate
thanks,
it. All right, so a pretty wild opening week for the NFL. I'd like to start talking about that first game. It was a nail-biter, that Eagles-Falcons game last Thursday.
Yeah, looked pretty similar to what we saw last year from the Falcons, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Not a whole lot has changed in Atlanta, it looks like.
No.
Matty Ice is still Matty Ice.
Yep, and Julio Jones is still Julio Jones. I think he had a pretty decent game, if you ask me.
I think they targeted him way more than I thought they would, if I was to be honest. I kind of thought the draft of Calvin Ridley, or the having that as your first overall selection, kind of really distinguishes where you're going to go from the future. That certainly to me indicates we're moving away from Julio and more towards a young, more balanced attack.
And then, we were talking about it during the game. We did not hear his name one time.
No. I don't think Calvin Ridley registered a catch in this first game.
Yeah, that's a little surprising to me. When you go and, grab a first-round receiver, why aren't you throwing the ball to him?
Really? Another shining example of Steve Sarkisian and his offensive genius.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Offensive genius on the Eagles side of the ball. We saw a Philly special. I was really hoping for that.
Basically the Philly special, right? Slightly different.
Well, yeah, slightly different. But Nick Foles caught a pass.
That's all that really matters. Yeah. From Aguilar. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed seeing that.
Who needs Trey Burton when you have
exactly.
Nelson Aguilar?
I was really shocked, honestly, at how similar this game was to the divisional playoff from last year, where it came down to the Falcons inside the 10 on fourth down, and they go for Julio in the end zone and just can't get his feet down.
Yeah, wait, which are you describing? The divisional round or week one or
both?
Haha. The exact same script.
The fall that Julio took when he came down, a little different, but other than that, same script.
Aesthetically kind of different, but exactly, that's the thing, same exact script. And if you're a Falcons fan, that's heartbreaking. You come into this year thinking, okay, this year will be different. This was a Super Bowl caliber team. We had a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl. We can get back there. We are capable of taking home the Lombardi. And then week one, you just throw an absolute dud.
Yeah, this is definitely a tough loss. I think there's something to take away from this is it's good that they hung in with the Eagles, but definitely a game that the Falcons will want back.
Oh, yeah. I think we're going to look back on this in a couple weeks and say, the Eagles looked weak to be. The Eagles looked sloppy. The Eagles looked slow. They did not look prepared. This definitely could have been a game that the Falcons stole, but they couldn't. They didn't have the manpower.
Nope. Another team that didn't have the manpower as we move into our Sunday games here, the Buffalo Bills.
Not even probably, by far the most embarrassing loss of the weekend.
Absolutely. Not even close.
Every team should be thankful they're not the Buffalo Bills, because that is a dumpster fire.
Yes.
Immediately.
They trade A.J. McCarron. It's like, oh, look, they have faith in Josh Allen.
Exactly.
I guess that's good. He's a top 10 pick, but nope.
Instead, we are going with Nathan Peterman. Nathan 5.5 picks Peterman.
Yeah, after that first performance, why would you ever want him to start another game for your football team if you're Sean McDermott?
What would indicate to you that Nathan Peterman is an NFL caliber quarterback? We kept hearing throughout the summer that Nathan Peterman's looking surprising. Nathan Peterman's, showing some stuff, and Nathan Peterman's going to be their third
He'll be a
quarterback.
Reliable backup.
He'll be a reliable third string. He should never see the field.
Exactly, and then he starts over their top 10 draft pick that they traded up to get.
Start him week one. That's crazy. That's so poorly mismanaged.
Yep. Today is Wednesday when we're recording this, and the Bills just announced a couple hours ago officially that it's Josh Allen over Nathan Peterman.
Thank
the fact
goodness.
that Sean McDermott did not get on the podium and say that as soon as they lost on Sunday is quite shocking to me. Why did it take him 3 days to come to that decision?
I understand not after the loss because, you got to think about some stuff. Maybe people were saying, all right, just go up there, answer the questions, and kind of just chill. But how do you not come out with that on Monday? How is that not? You know what? You wake up next day and you're like, that was bad. And then you just say, yeah, no, Nathan Peterman, you're not starting anymore.
And the thing is, too, the Ravens aren't that great. They played a good game against a terrible team, but
yeah, that defense is top notch. That defense is going to be one of the best in the league. But
yeah.
They also played against Nathan Peterman. So.
Yeah, we will not see 47 points from the Ravens for the rest of the season.
Probably not.
I doubt it. I will not write that in ink.
Remember when they put up 40-something in London on Jacksonville?
Remember when they dropped 40 on Miami on Thursday night?
I do. So, yeah, I don't think we can count out Joe Flacco and his golden arm.
Yeah, I won't write that in pen, but I would be surprised if we saw 47 again.
I would be surprised as well.
And also, we're dealing with a Joe Flacco who he sees his replacement in the future. So he knows his time in Baltimore is limited. So why not try to ball out? Why not try to drop 47 occasionally? Try to drop 40 a couple of times. Even if the Ravens don't wind up making the playoffs, his next contract, he might be able to be a starter.
That is true. I think that's a really good point that it is pretty much now or never for Joe Flacco.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the backup plan's there. The succession plan is in place. They're just waiting for him to fall off.
Yep.
And then it's the Lamar time, and I can't wait. I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm excited for Lamar Jackson, but
Really?
I think a Joe Flacco retirement tour victory thing would be kind of cool. But
I guess. I mean, run it back to that Super Bowl.
yeah, I think that would be kind of fun. But,
go into Foxborough again.
Yeah, there's just so much other things that I'd like to see more. So.
Exactly. Yeah, there's so many other storylines that are way more interesting than the Ravens somehow eking out 10 wins and winning the AFC North.
Exactly.
Moving on. What game excites you next, Sharp?
I think the Jaguars and Giants had a pretty exciting game. It was low scoring, I would say. It wasn't exactly appealing to watch, but definitely a close game. We saw big runs from Blake Bortles, and the more important one, the 68-yarder from Saquon Barkley for that long touchdown.
That was pretty cool. That's exactly what we expected.
Yeah, what a great way to score your first touchdown in the league. You know, it wasn't some 3-yard
plunge. Yeah. 68-yard, you know.
That was impressive. I'm really happy I had that game on while that was happening.
Yeah, he's going to be I mean, we knew that this isn't breaking news, but Saquon Barkley's going to be a stud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is week one just confirmed that against one of the league's best defenses.
Yeah.
To break off a 68-yarder.
Speaking of the league's best defense, though, I think that's exactly how Jacksonville won this game. They did not do too much. I mean, Miles Jack had that pick six. Without that, it's 15-13. So.
Yeah.
So I saw a couple of tweets just floating out there, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this. The Giants, while Saquon Barkley looked incredible, Eli Manning did not. And he's 100% holding back the Giants this year from having a successful, or even like partially successful year. Like I feel like the Giants are not going to have a good year, and it's going to be due to the fact of Eli Manning. Am I off base there?
No, I mean, they would definitely be better with a better quarterback, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, if your options are Eli Manning, Davis Webb, and Kyle Aletta, I'm probably going to take the two-time Super Bowl MVP, for being honest.
Absolutely. But do you think they were, as good as Saquon Barkley is going to be, do you think maybe they should have considered a quarterback a little bit more?
Oh, definitely, but for way different reasons.
Yes, exactly. I think the Giants will have a good enough pick that they could land a first-round quarterback in 2019.
Yeah,
that's a possibility. I think
the thing to me though is that when you have that top 3 pick and you like the writing is on the wall with Eli,
you have to take the best available player.
No, see, to me with Eli, you have max 3 years left. Like you know that going in, and when are you going to have a top 3 pick again, especially in a quarterback class that's this loaded? If you could have, I mean, they had Sam Darnold was there for the taking, and they said no, we want Saquon because we feel we can win now. Like Saquon is clearly a move that symbolizes they think they can win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, and I just don't see it.
I don't either. I mean, I'd have to see more. It's been 1 week of Saquon and Eli Manning, so.
Oh yeah, I mean we've seen this before with Eli, where if he has incredible weapons around him, he can facilitate. But,
exactly.
But yeah, I think to me, I mean this is going way back to April, but I definitely would have taken Darnold just because you have very few chances to take that franchise-altering quarterback.
Exactly.
And Darnold was there for the taking, and they took the short-term gain over the long-term risk. And, I mean, I get it, but, man, I think Darnold would be nice to have in the wings right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Moving on, let's move to, I think, the most surprising game of the weekend, and that was Tampa Bay, New Orleans.
Yeah, definitely a shocker.
A 48-40 shootout between Ryan Fitzpatrick and Drew Brees. Equal number of MVPs between Fitzpatrick and Brees, and it showed on Sunday.
Exactly, you know.
Okay, Chargers fan.
The Bucs were supposed to get blown out, and Ryan Fitzpatrick was like, I have other plans. Sorry to disappoint everyone. I'm throwing for a bunch of yards and running for a touchdown today. So
yeah, man, he was incredible. He was. I have very fond memories of Buffalo Bills Ryan Fitzpatrick scrambling around the pocket doing some things, but man, did not see this coming from Fitzmagic.
Yeah, here's a fact that you might not know about Ryan Fitzpatrick, and that is that he attended Harvard.
I don't know how many people know that. Just thinking. I don't think many. It's also like Antonio Gates played basketball. Not a lot of people.
Wait, Antonio Gates played basketball?
I know. Gonna shocking a lot of people.
Ryan
here.
Tannehill was a receiver in college?
Breaking some news here.
Man.
So, Jacob, you started the Saints defense in our fantasy league.
I did.
On Sunday.
I did start
So,
defense.
Can you walk us through kind of your thought process? Did you kind of like wake up and you're just like, oh God, I made such a terrible mistake? Or were you like,
No. I felt super duper confident in that up until Ryan Fitzpatrick dropped 48 points on them. I was thinking Ryan Fitzpatrick is their quarterback. That was the only indication I needed to me that they're going to be bad. But also, Peyton Barber was their starting running back.
Exactly.
I don't like their wide receivers. I think Mike Evans is talented, but he's never been someone who's super impressive to me. And Deshaun Jackson's old. I don't really like that offensive line. I don't know. It seemed like money in the bank that this was going to be a super... 3 picks from Saints defense, 2 from Marshawn Lattimore, Alex Anzalone coming up big.
This all happened in New Orleans too. I think we should point that out.
In the dome. I don't understand. I think I don't want to take too much away from this game because I think this is super fluky. I don't want to throw all my offseason predictions out the window because of one game, but wow, this is surprising.
Yep. I think that leaves us with that question like you kind of wanted to avoid. Are the Bucs good? Are the Saints bad? Were they just rusty?
We were talking about it this morning. My biggest problem with the Bucs was having Jameis Winston on this roster. Like that was I was thinking, okay, the karma's bad. He's not good. I think he's gonna have a negative effect on this entire team. It's gonna be a year from hell. But if Ryan Fitzpatrick is their quarterback going forward, crazier things have happened than the Bucs make it. I think a successful season for the Bucs would be like 8-8. 7-9, so I just don't think there's that much talent on this team.
No.
Especially with news of Vernon Hargraves hitting the IR this morning.
Yeah, that's a really unfortunate injury for them.
Really, that is blowing. I really liked whatchamacallit. He was a great corner. I think he's one of the young up and coming corners in this league, and that sucks. That's super painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't really have an explanation for this.
Me either.
I'm more worried about the Saints than I'm excited about the Bucs.
Me too.
But I really just don't want to overreact.
My only concern is like you said, the Saints gave up 48 points to Tampa Bay at home.
Yeah.
So
what is that? What's happening? Like how does that happen? How this is a team that should have made the NFC Championship last game. Or last year, if it hadn't been some fluky play. And then they easily could have had a shot to beat the Eagles. I think a lot of people had them picked in that game. Like, this is a Super Bowl caliber team, and they just gave up 48 points to the freaking Bucs. Like, that's embarrassing.
And they were also talking at the was it the not the Bucs, the Saints or the Vikings who were saying, yeah, we could have beat, or I want to say Saints, we could have beaten the Eagles and then we would have went on to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely.
Was that Kamara?
Kamara who said that. Definitely.
You're not going to win the Super Bowl if you give up 48 points to the Bucs. What's Tom Brady going to do to you?
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Yeah, so definitely some questions need to be answered in New Orleans.
Speaking of Tom Brady, another game that he was involved in against the Texans, Patriots win that one 27-20. It didn't look like it was going to be that close until later in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I think that score is a little misleading. Houston did not look good.
No, they did not. Deshaun Watson really struggled.
Yeah.
A lot more than I thought.
Yeah, I am huge on the Texans this year. Just to remind people, I have them going 13-3 and representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. So, very high on the Texans this year. But I had this penciled in as a loss. I think Week 1 against going into Foxborough, that's brutal. You can't expect. I mean, Deshaun Watson is functionally still a rookie, so I think that's a lot to ask. But the two things, I was definitely concerned about their offensive line coming into the year, and that did not.
That showed.
Yeah, really. There were no sort of improvements there. When losing Chantrell Henderson is a crushing blow to your unit, you are screwed. That is bad. That is. Oh man, I'm worried. Another Watson injury would just be crippling to kind of the league as a whole. Like, that'd be so disappointing for another injury to Watson because they couldn't protect him.
He's so good, and
oh my God,
he's just every time he goes out there, you hold your breath and hope he doesn't get hit.
Just doesn't get murdered by the joke of an offensive line that stands in front of him. I mean, he has 5 seconds to get rid of the ball every time, and if that, he is getting no time. And I personally picked Bill O'Brien for Coach of the Year.
So did I.
But that was less about schematics and more about just the narrative of how I think the Texans are just going to way overachieve. But, man, he did not look good in that game.
No, I think you can attribute a good chunk of this loss to coaching.
Oh man, I don't know what needs to happen in Houston, but somebody needs to sit Bill O'Brien down and like really organize a playbook with him, because that was not the best use of anybody's talents on that team.
No, absolutely not.
No. I was really excited to see what I saw from Lamar Miller, though. Not gonna lie, I kind of thought this could be a down year from Lamar Miller. Maybe that was, maybe Deshaun Watson wouldn't have the run game he had maybe last year or 2 years ago, but no, this was whatchamacallit. It was an exciting game from Lamar Miller. He really broke off 20 carries for 98 yards, no touchdowns, but
I think the Lamar Miller we saw on Sunday was the Lamar Miller the Texans wanted when they signed him in free agency a couple years ago.
Definitely, and I think if that can come through as a true force, that'll take a lot of pressure off Watson.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And make Bill O'Brien's job easier as well.
Yeah, dump it off.
Exactly. So, talking about the Patriots, anything really exciting you saw from them?
Not really. They look like the Patriots. They went out there and they did what they had to do. Nothing too fancy. Brady to Gronk, obviously strong as ever.
Yeah, and that's not going away anytime soon.
I don't think we'll talk about the Patriots in a shocking manner too much this year.
No, definitely not. I am excited by some of their individual pieces. They used Cordell Patterson a lot more than I thought they would. They were super creative with him. They really tried to get him the ball in space, and that's really exciting. And I didn't think the Patriots had that kind of creativity with that kind of athlete, and that was super cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
I also like what they did with Philip Dorsett. That was somebody they got a lot of flack for trading for. But 7 targets, 7 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown, that's solid production.
Yeah.
If he can provide while Edelman's out, that could be an actually pretty solid receiving core.
And then you bring Edelman back and look where you're at.
Exactly. Now you have Edelman, Hogan, Dorsett, Gronk, James White out of the backfield. That's a pretty solid collection of weapons. I think we were talking a lot about this year, before the year, about how Brady's going to have to carry this offense.
But
I'm not so sure. Yeah, exactly. I think this offense could be better than we're giving it credit for.
I think so, too. Another game, I think everyone mostly thought about this as a lock on the Vikings over San Francisco.
Yeah. Jimmy G. I mean, this was a tough game to start your season going into Minnesota. Having to deal with that defense. But I don't want to say what we expected, but I guess it fits within the guidelines of what I would have.
You obviously can't win every start. He was going to lose at some point.
At some point.
And, it just happened to be on the road to this good Vikings team.
Yeah, so. I mean, there's no shame in losing to top 3 defense on the road. That's a brutal slate.
And it was only an 8-point loss. It's not like they got blown out or anything.
No. He kept them in that game, but he missed some throws that I was really disappointed on. That Kittle throw, I want to say in the second or third, whatever quarter that was, but immediately throwing the pick right after that. That's brutal. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still believing in Jimmy G.
I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I really wouldn't be too worried.
I think he can win or help the Niners win all the games they're supposed to.
Exactly.
And then maybe 1 or 2 more.
Next week they host the Lions in San Francisco. That's going to be.
Yeah.
I think he throws for 4 touchdowns that game. He's going off.
Right.
Especially if Darius Slay misses expected time.
All right, bold call.
What's up?
Bold call.
Oh,
it's definitely possible. I don't think it's like a hot take, but
yeah. That's I don't think it's that hot a take. The Lions' defense is real crappy.
Yeah, we saw what Sam Darnold just did.
Exactly. If Sam Darnold can do it, I fully believe Jimmy G. But you have that in podcast form now. Jimmy G's throwing for 4 touchdowns next week.
All right.
Moving on. What game really gets you going?
The really long one between the Dolphins and the Titans. 7 hours and 8 minutes with 2 separate 2-hour lightning delays.
Yeah, that was an experience. I would love to get an oral history of that from somebody on the Dolphins or Titans, just what that was like.
Yeah, what are you doing in the locker room for 2 hours during 2 separate rain delays?
Yeah. Exactly. I'm guessing a lot of cards.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess. Probably some cards, probably some dominoes going on. Yeah. I wonder if people were eating. I wonder if they had food out.
Maybe they're
like bananas or something.
Like playing some video games.
Yeah, you think so? You think they're pulling up 2K?
There might have been some Madden tournaments going on.
You think of Madden tournament? Wow.
I mean, they had enough time.
Who's the best Madden player on the Dolphins? You think?
Oh man, that's tough. I want to say it's probably like Kenyon Drake. I feel like he's really good at Madden.
Oh, I could definitely see that. I could definitely see. You know who I bet's really good at Madden or in 2K?
Who?
Laramie Tunsil.
You think so?
I bet Laramie Tunsil whipped out his gas mask bong a lot of times in high school and thought, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this and play some Madden. And yeah, I bet Tunsil's nice with it. That's my guess. But
I mean, I could see it.
What was that like as a Dolphins fan, Sharp? because they won.
Yeah,
so.
it was really fun. I really enjoyed the game, when it was going on. But the waiting around got kind of rough. I had had a super long night before. I went to the ASU Michigan State game. Forks up, by the way.
Herm train.
Yep. Anyway, so I was super tired from that, and I'm like, I really want to take a nap, but I don't want to fall asleep, and this game starts back up, and I miss the rest of it. So I stuck it out and sat on the couch for the full 7 hours.
Wow. You are an American hero.
That's a commitment right there.
That's the stories we love to hear.
I watched every play from that 7-hour Dolphins-Titans game. I'm kind of proud of it, if we're being honest.
It is. It's an impressive accomplishment.
So,
impressive win, though, for the
Yeah,
Dolphins.
I think in the game, a lot of people thought they would lose. I'm high on the Titans this year. I know you're pretty high on the Titans as well. And we're both fairly low on the Dolphins. For them to go in there and, go home, or stay at home and win this game even, that's impressive. I think once Marcus Mariota got knocked out of the game, and then the Dolphins scored, I thought, okay, it's probably safe from here. It wasn't. There were some wild touchdowns, 2 special teams touchdowns. I know.
Yeah,
touch on those.
Return cut touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's pretty ridiculous.
Yep. So you might hear about that a little later in the podcast. That was cool to watch. I feel real bad for Delaney Walker though.
Ugh, that was brutal.
Dislocated or fractured ankle, ligament damage. That really sucks. Great player, great guy. Solid, real leader on that team, and for them to lose him, that's a huge blow.
Oh, man.
And now with Mariota maybe being out too, we don't really know what's going on with him yet, besides elbow injury.
Yeah, that whole Titan season's up in the air. For
it's
being
up in the
honest.
air. So I like this win for the Dolphins. I think it's a good win. I'm not gonna get too confident in it though, because they were going against Blaine Gabbert in the second half of that game. So
yeah. That's it's not a lot to take from that half, but I think there was a lot of good football played when Mariota was still there. I think their defense really surprised me.
Yep, Minkah Fitzpatrick had a really good game.
Minkah looked fantastic. Minkah looked
amazing
like
debut. He dropped his first career interception chance, but
he looked like an 8-year pro from
exactly.
the jump,
Him and Rashad Jones looked like equals out there.
Exactly, and that's incredible.
Rashad Jones had 2 picks in that game, so
yeah, I think Minkah's going to be a stud.
Yeah, I am excited to see what the season has in store for him moving forward.
Speaking of moving forward, moving from your team, Ryan, to my team, the LA Chargers suffered a defeat in Week 1 at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. This was real depressing for a variety of reasons. Similar to the Falcons. Just kind of same stuff, different day for the Chargers. Special teams mistakes, poor coaching, dropped balls. Phillip Rivers is trying to lead a lackluster squad.
Yep.
And that's real disappointing, if I'm going to be honest.
For me, the storyline from this game is less about the Chargers' poor performance and more about the Chiefs' good performance.
Definitely.
Specifically, second year but first time starter quarterback Patrick Mahomes, and then Cheetah, Tyreek Hill,
my God.
long touchdown, and then a punt return touchdown of his own.
I still have nightmares from that slant. That slant that he just took. He burned everybody. That was disgusting. Him and Mahomes were put together by the football gods to reignite what everyone loves about football, because that's going to be so much fun to watch.
I think this division is probably going to come down to that second head-to-head matchup, but it's going to be tough for the Chargers now because it's in Kansas City.
Yeah,
they blew their chance to beat them at home.
But
also, it's
what is home? What is home?
It's more of a neutral site.
When you play 16 road games, there really is no advantage to being back in StubHub Arena or wherever they're. No, yeah, I think it's
StubHub Center or something like that.
Something brutal. But there were pictures. I think it was 80% Chiefs fans. It was god awful.
I still think with the weather though late in the season and 100% Chiefs fans, it's just only going to get tougher.
Oh my gosh, of course,
for LA to win this division.
But they will also have Joey Bosa in that game.
That is true.
Hope. So we shall see on that one. But yeah, this season has a long way to go before I think it's week 12 or week 14. Sorry, I think they match up again. So
maybe they're both bad. Maybe.
Exactly. Maybe the Raiders have rebounded from their week 1 defeat and gone 15-1.
Well, before we get too far into Raiders and all the other stuff, Jacob, you've been talking a big game about Derwin James.
Oh, yeah. Derwin.
What did you think of him?
Derwin was awesome. Derwin was everything I thought he was going to be and more. came down with a sack, came down with an almost interception. He was patrolling the middle of the field. I mean, from week one, the fact that Gus Bradley trusted him to be their only true one high safety, like their whole defensive scheme relies on a free safety manning the deep zone and just controlling everything in front of him. I mean, that was the zone Earl Thomas perfected in Seattle. And they put Derwin James in there week one, and he excelled. He was probably the Chargers' best defensive player. Like, that says something. He is going to be
He's
awesome.
going to be so good.
He's so freaking
Two
good.
great safeties that just fell down the draft board.
Yeah, that's what happens when quarterbacks go early. Is safeties fall to teams who don't necessarily need that kind of game-changing presence. I mean, the Chargers, I take that back. The Chargers and Dolphins definitely needed it. But those are talents that go in the top 5.
Yeah, Micah Fitzpatrick, like we said, great game. Saved a touchdown. That could have won the game for the Titans at one point. So.
Yeah, definitely. It's I think both the Dolphins and Chargers should be super excited about what they got because those are 2 studs.
Yep.
Moving on, let's go to one more game in Sunday afternoon I actually want to talk about. Broncos Seahawks. That was a lot close. I mean, I take that back. I think that was about the score we expected. But I didn't know going in I really had no inclination who was going to win week 1.
Yeah, honestly, that game was a toss-up for me. I really did not see how... I did not pick a winner. I just thought it was too tough. I didn't know how Case Keenum was going to do. He ended up being all right. So.
Yeah, exactly. I think Case Keenum... Everything nothing was super surprising in that game. I think
it was a very normal football game.
We all anticipated it was going to be close, relatively high, 27-24, right where you project it to be between 2 very, very competent average teams. And so, on one hand, there's nothing there, but on the other hand, neither of these teams collapsed, and I think they were 2 very logical collapse candidates. I think the Broncos, the idea that Case Keenum's not quite as good as he's going to be, and that offense is just going to struggle. And then the Seahawks, I think Seahawks, I think a lot of people projected them to just fall off a cliff, but none of that happened.
Yeah, they for playing each other, I think they played pretty well. No one was terrible.
No, 3 picks from Keenum. I'm a little surprising.
Yeah,
not his style to sling it around, but still.
I mean, new play caller. So
exactly.
Maybe he's just seeing what he's got in Case Keenum.
I wouldn't be surprised, but good win for the Broncos.
For sure.
Good win. Moving on to Sunday night. I think Sunday night was
Hold on, before we go to Sunday night, we got to talk about the tie.
Oh,
yeah.
We do.
Almost forgot. Thanks, Josh.
We got to talk about the tie.
The Browns have their best start since 2004. They're 0-1.
Incredible. Shout out to Cleveland.
I know.
That's 2004.
Man.
That's crazy.
We were 6? Oh, yeah. I was 6
years old.
Yeah, 6.
Jeez.
We're 20 now, just so our parents can think about that.
I don't know. I think that was Derek Anderson probably, right? As their starting quarterback.
Might have been before that.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up. But wow, that since 2004.
Really tough break for the Browns, though, at the end, getting that kick blocked. Zane Gonzalez forced up. That's a rough turn of events for Cleveland, but I think they'll take that tie. Is that who I think it is on your computer screen?
It is Jeff Garcia. Jeff Garcia was the starting quarterback last time the Browns had this starting record. So that's pretty incredible.
This is the same Jeff Garcia that came in for Donovan McNabb and took the Eagles to a 10-6 finish and winning the playoffs. So
yeah,
that is true.
Jeff Garcia, elite.
So, is this more of a loss for the Steelers or a win for the Browns? Because obviously it was a tie, but more of a loss for the Steelers, more of a win for the Browns.
Ooh, interesting.
Really good question. I have an answer.
Okay, go ahead.
I think this is a loss for the Steelers more so than it is a win for the Browns because the Browns, for being honest, they're not really in the hunt for the playoffs.
No.
And the Steelers are, but I think having a tie, that might hurt them later down the road. I mean, it's better than a loss, but I think they're really going to wish they had won this game.
Oh, definitely. I will take the counterpoint of that then. I think this is more of a Steelers. This is more of a Browns win, just because it's not a loss. All they've done the past 2 years is lose. And this isn't a loss. So by definition, to me, this is a win. They looked solid. They had a chance to win the game. The fact that they couldn't score in overtime, even a field goal, is brutal.
And it was not a long kick either.
No, exactly. So
granted, it was blocked. Someone made a good play.
But still, yeah. This I would be slightly disappointed if I was the Browns, but overall, it's not a loss.
Yeah, it's not a loss.
So I think this should be a celebration. And I'm curious. Did you guys see the Bud Light coolers that only opened when the Browns got their first win? Did you guys see that?
I did not.
So yeah, so there's this bar in Cleveland that has a big case of like Bud Light, a big like refrigerator full of Bud Lights, and it will only open when the Browns notch their first victory.
Now I'm close.
I'm curious. Did they unlock the case, or was it, or they keep it?
Well, it's a tie, so it's not a win.
It's not a win.
You are right. It's not a win.
Their win percentage is still 0.
That is true. Another fun thing about this tie is that I would not be shocked if it came back in December to bite someone in the butt. Like
Yeah.
the Steelers with going, let's say they're 6-5-1 versus the 6-6
Ravens.
Exactly. So there's so many incredible opportunities that could have with tiebreakers and all that crap with ties that could be so much fun.
It's better than a loss, but it certainly isn't a win.
Yeah, I think if you're Hugh Jackson, you're looking for a win there, but you'll take it. You'll take it for sure.
Yeah.
Browns will take it. The Steelers, I think, go home upset.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think they definitely thought they should win that game.
Le'Veon Bell tweeted after this game.
Yeah.
What
did he tweet?
Was it like
confused looking guy emoji?
Yeah, with the monocle.
Yeah, it's like wonder how they could have won this game.
Yeah, I wonder if they had just one other piece they
if
could
there
have
was
won.
an all-pro running back that they could just add to this offense
Yeah.
with James Conner, who played well, by the way.
James Conner was awesome. James Conner was awesome.
Props
sure.
to James Conner, but if there was only one other all-pro running back that could have just helped the Steelers, kind of just push them over the edge.
Definitely kind of fits in the narrative that I think it was Ramon Foster of the Steelers offensive line is like, we're doing all the work.
Yeah.
I generally don't agree with that take, but this game kind of backs him up, if we're being honest. If you can turn James Conner into 150-odd yards and 2 touchdowns, wow. I guess you can do it with anybody at that point.
Yeah.
So we should go play running back for the Steelers, guys.
That's the logical explanation here.
Yep.
Is that, Anthony Villanueva and Ramon Foster can turn us into all-pro running backs,
just
obviously.
have a 3-person backfield.
Yeah.
And there we go.
3-headed monster.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
But you wanted to talk about Sunday night, Jacob.
Sunday night.
What a game.
That was phenomenal. I think it's kind of this tale of 2 games, if we're being honest.
Exactly.
I think that first half where everything looked right for the Bears.
Yeah, Bears were up. We thought Rodgers was done for the season.
Yeah.
He carted off the field, and it looked like he was close to tears.
Oh, definitely.
And he just comes back into the game and destroys everyone.
Yeah, that was just a not once in a lifetime, because Rodgers has done this, but this was an all-time performance.
For him to do that with that knee injury, we still don't know how bad it is.
We were talking about this earlier. I would not be shocked to learn he played on a torn ACL.
Yeah.
He looked immobile back there. He looked messed up.
How do you go from you're a professional athlete near tears to throwing for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns in one half?
So
something happened there in those locker rooms. Who knows? Who knows what happened?
Let's listen to what Aaron Rodgers had to say happened in the locker room. We have some audio here.
We have some listen in, folks.
This long into words? Yeah, it's hard to. It is, but it's the Bear Packer rivalry. So I'm gonna have to take something really catastrophic injury-wise to keep me off the field in the second half. I went in the locker room, did all the tests, and then I was in our indoor facility trying to get it loosened up. But I knew once I got back on the field and adrenaline started going, I'd be able to hang in there. What was the injury? My knee. I just felt something in it. Was having a hard time putting weight on it. Doc and I had a conversation there. We did the tests. I told him I was going back. You come back.
Ooh.
So, if you haven't seen this video yet, Aaron Rodgers, his eyes were pretty all over the place, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, was having trouble putting together full-length sentences.
Yeah, we saw him on the podium after the game too, still struggling with that.
Little jittery, little nervous. I don't know if nervous is the right word, but just kind of little all over the place.
Yeah.
The point we're alluding to here is that Aaron Rodgers, I don't think, was medically stable enough to be talking to people after the game.
No, I don't think so either. I think he was pumped full of painkillers, and they just sent him back out there.
That's what I'm thinking as well. Josh is pointing to a tweet right now from Rob Domofsky, an ESPN staff reporter, that says that Rodgers doesn't take painkillers. That he's not doesn't like how they feel. But this video evidence would kind of point to the contrary. This is a. It started off as kind of funny and now is a little concerning.
Yeah, I'm concerned about this. We think about how many guys go back into games. How often is this happening? How often are they pumping these players full of painkillers to get them back on the field? Like, we saw this injury. It looked like a season-ending injury.
We see this all the time when people go for the knee and the knee twists in a weird way and they fall on it.
People miss extended time with that, and for him to come back in less than a half an hour, and then obviously with what we saw after the game, just the look on his face, the way he was talking, something wasn't right there.
Exactly. I don't think anybody will address this. I don't think the Packers or the NFL players.
I think we're all going to put it behind us and probably forget about it.
Yeah, but
I don't know if that's a good thing, though.
Definitely not. I think this is kind of a wake up call, if we're being honest.
I think
people are becoming a little more cognizant of that. You can't just treat these people like use cars and just ride them until they're
let's put some fresh oil in it and then drive it for another 1,000 miles, even though it's going to explode anyway.
That was disturbing.
Yeah, that's scary for sure.
But the counterpoint of that, or the other side of that, is that he was balling out.
He was incredible.
We were listening to him talk right now, and he's struggling to form coherent sentences.
How is he playing football?
Eviscerating the Bears defense.
To me, I brought this up on the walkover to record. Performance-wise, this Aaron Rodgers doped up performance, if he is truly on painkillers, I think we should obviously listen to what Aaron Rodgers has to say, and we can't say for sure.
Yeah, there's obviously no definitive.
But this is comparable to Doc Ellis throwing a no-hitter on LSD.
Yeah, this is a otherworldly performance.
You just look at Rodgers, and he seems like he has no idea what's going on around him, but here he is, just
slinging footballs.
Yep.
I think we'll find out when he finally writes his book after his career is done. Because there's no way Aaron Rodgers doesn't write a book.
Yeah, you think so? I think Aaron Rodgers publishes a tell-all where he says, I freaking hated Brett Favre. Wanted to murder that guy.
I mean, we hear a lot in these tell-all books. I brought up Dan Pastorini's a little earlier. They just had bowls of this stuff. Sitting out in the locker room.
Greenies, man. Greenies were a league-wide. Didn't matter. NFL, NBA, MLB, didn't matter. Everyone was taking greenies, and everyone didn't really know, didn't really care what they were.
So is this still happening, and we're just less aware?
I mean, it would.
Or ignoring it.
You would have to think. But getting back to the actual football game, I think the one play that really stood out to me was that throw down the sideline to Geronimo Allison.
Yes.
I mean, that was a ball. That was placed in the one spot that only the receiver could get it. And there's probably 5 quarterbacks in NFL history who can place that ball.
At that point, they're still behind once Geronimo Allison brings in that ball. And
down by 10 at that point.
Yeah,
so.
I'm like, the Packers are winning this game.
Oh, yeah, zero doubt in my mind. This is Rodgers playbook 101. Like, this is, come back from a defeat, throw a beauty of a ball, and then just slowly wear down your opponent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really disappointed in the Bears' second half.
Me too.
Really super duper high on Matt Nagy. I thought he was going to be fantastic. And everything he showed us in the first half was great. Trubisky looked good. Trubisky looked confident under center and competent. Like any throw that Nagy asked him to make, he was able to make. His arm strength looked elite, if we're being honest, and his accuracy was solid. And then
he just couldn't leave the comeback.
Aaron Rodgers was in the game too for most of that first half. They held him to no points. So the Bears looked good, and then the second half went downhill. I am really shocked that they were firm on that snap count for Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't put him back in the game. After that first half he had, why is he not out there?
I understand if he's super fatigued, if that's what it is. He's been sitting out, you get it. But if it's an idea of that he doesn't know the scheme well enough, or he's not going to perform, that's just... We saw in the first half how crazy that is.
I think you're trying to protect him from a catastrophic injury. They just signed him to a 6-year deal. So the Bears aren't trying to win right now. They want Khalil Mack to still be here in 2 years when they're competing for playoffs, competing for possibly a Super Bowl berth.
I guess, but I think we saw with the Eagles last year. Your Super Bowl berth starts now. Like,
yeah, the
if you
Eagles
have
were
a
supposed to be 9-7 last year.
I mean, the Rams under Goff had the league's worst offense his rookie year, and then his second year they had the league's best offense.
Yeah.
It can change like that in the NFL, and a win against your division opponent in their home stadium is huge. Like that's massive.
And I think Khalil Mack, if he stays in that game, I think they might hold on.
I would have to think so. I mean, Rodgers was just sitting pretty back there for a lot of those, for a lot of the second half, and you have to think some of that comes down to Khalil Mack.
Yeah, if somebody rocks him.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But it's disappointing, especially if they held him out for purely schematic reasons. That's super disappointing. Moving on, I think, unless there's anything else you want to talk about for Sunday.
No, not on Sunday. I think we can move on to the Monday night games. Somewhat of a shocker in Detroit. I think we knew the Lions would be bad, but the Jets dropped 48.
Yeah, hell of a debut from Darnold, with the exception of that first throw. That looked fantastic.
I mean, I guess he got it out of the way early.
Exactly. We were talking about during the game who he joins company. If we want to say Brett Favre, Peyton Manning. There's another quarterback.
Jameis Winston did it. He's less elite company, but he did it.
Yeah, so it's not exactly as devastating as I think some Jets fans.
No, I thought for sure after that happened, Darnold was just going to be shaken and never really come back from it. And
that's incredible.
I was super wrong.
Yeah, he looked super professional. He looked very mature in the pocket. He looked wise beyond his years.
Yeah. After that, I'm like, oh, this is going to be like 17-6 Lions, and that just was not the case.
Yeah, man, Darnold was fantastic, but I think the bigger story was the other quarterback in this game, Matt Stafford, thrown for 4 interceptions.
That was bad.
Yeah, I don't. After seeing that against the Jets, I mean, the Jets do have Jamal Adams, a couple of other strong defensive players, but that's not good for Matt Stafford.
Matt Castle got in.
Yeah, so
Matt Castle got in for a few snaps.
That's concerning if I'm the Lions. I mean, I know we didn't expect a big year out of them, but if your franchise guy is throwing, 4 picks against the Jets?
Yeah, that's...
something's wrong.
No, there's some serious flaws there in Detroit.
I think this is the year we really start to notice that most of Matthew Stafford was actually Calvin Johnson.
I think you're spot on. I still like the receivers though. That's the problem.
Marvin Jones, Golden Tate.
Exactly. I think that's a solid combo. Luke Wilson, their tight end, didn't get a lot of love in week 1, but he's still going to be fun for that team.
Who's that kid? Number 19, God something.
Oh, Galladay.
Yeah, he laid that huge hit.
Yes, he laid that massive hit. That was high. That was the highlight of that game to me.
Yeah, for sure.
For people who don't remember, Tremaine Johnson came down with a pick and then got absolutely rocked by Kenny Galladay and forced a fumble and got the Lions the ball back. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. So, but that was a highlight of an otherwise kind of disappointing.
That was probably the highlight of my Monday night, if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Except for a play that happened in the final game of the night, that Rams-Raiders. Just a little context, if you're interested. I doubt you are. But my fantasy team, I'm down.
I'm interested, Ryan.
I have the Rams defense going, and I'm about to lose this game. And I'm like, well, this is it. And then the Rams came down with that pick 6.
Marcus Peters.
And I eked out the fantasy win because of it. So that was cool.
I was more hyped than you were. That was the weirdest part about that. I was like, okay, the only thing that could happen here for you is a pick 6, and then Marcus Peters takes
and then he did it.
And then I'm like, oh, that was phenomenal. I was hyped, and I'd already won my game.
Yeah, I was like super lax. I don't know. I must have been tired, but that was pretty cool. That's the Rams defense I expected to see.
Exactly.
It took them until halfway through the third quarter to show up, but once they did, the Raiders were done for.
Derek Carr. Speaking of the Raiders being done for, I kind of thought, okay, Derek Carr is gonna, fully healthy. His weapons aren't horrible. I think he's gonna be okay.
They were in the game for that first half. So.
I don't know if he's got good weapons. Let's not over.
Amari Cooper and Jordy Nelson.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a nice duo right there.
Amari Cooper, I saw the stat somewhere. It has less than 10 receiving yards in like 6 straight games or something like that.
That's not good.
I would put Jordy Nelson and Amari Cooper as like a bottom 10 receiving duo in the league.
Yeah,
I'm not. The player I'm most excited by in that offense is Jalen Richard. That's the player with the most pop. But besides that,
I don't think Martavis Bryant is really going to help. If we're being honest,
No.
that's so incompetent to cut somebody the week of the preseason, and then sign them back after week 1. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, guys do that so like they can clear waivers or something like that if you want them on a practice squad. But
this was different. They didn't want him on the team, and then
now they do.
Something happened after week 1, and they're like, "Oh my God, we need Martavis Bryant now." That to me signals that
why cut him in the first place? Like,
exactly.
What changed in a week and a half?
Exactly.
What made you think we'll be better off without Martavis Bryant?
And that you had that thought in week 4 of the preseason, and something you were just a 20-point defeat to the Rams completely flipped your mindset and thought, okay, the thing holding us back is Martavis Bryant. Like that's just bad. That's just bad football management right there.
Yeah. I know I ask you this all the time. Does John Gruden make it to Vegas?
I think John Gruden makes it to Vegas. That's insinuating that he makes it through this year and makes it all the way to next year.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he does. Man, a 10-year contract. I can't imagine him getting canned after a year of a 10-year contract.
I think he makes it probably 2.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Does John Gruden make it to the new stadium?
Because
you got to remember they're playing with UNLV.
Exactly, so it's like 3 years before they...
Yeah, 2020.
So yeah, probably. I don't think he makes it to the new stadium. I bet... So they're going to be super bad this year. I bet they take a quarterback next year, and then he's like, oh, I need to develop this quarterback. Give me some more time. I still have a 10-year contract. Give me some time.
Yeah.
And so maybe he makes it to the stadium. But he's not good.
No.
I think we saw very clearly that. He went into week 1 with some creative ideas, and then by the second half, they were all gone.
Yeah.
And he had nothing to go off of. And Derek Carr was literally lofting up passes to the defense.
Yeah, that throw in the fourth quarter. I mean, it's a different kind of concerning, but I was concerned about that like I was concerned about Aaron Rodgers after the game, but it's also different because, that's obviously someone's health, but what are you seeing?
Yeah, what are you looking at there? That is just, for those of you who don't remember that, it was just I'm just picturing in my mind, there's no clear option when he's going. There's Jordy Nelson coming on a comeback route and Jalen Richard on like a little out. And he just lofted it.
It's like he was trying to throw it out of bounds.
Yeah,
but instead he just.
It was bad.
That was wild.
So bad. But yeah, I think that hits the highlights of week 1. I think pretty straightforward week. I think obviously there was some excitement, but I think kind of went chalk in terms of who we thought was good, who was not.
Yep. You want to do some weekly awards?
Yeah, let's do some weekly awards. Let's definitely do some weekly awards.
Right,
We're going to do Offensive Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week, and Special Teams. So yeah, let's tell me who you have first for Offensive Player of the Week.
My Offensive Player of the Week is Aaron Rodgers after that incredible performance we saw. For him to have his knee stepped on, mangled like that, and then to come out and come back like that, just incredible to me.
Yeah, that was heroic. That was so much fun to watch. And just kind of, I'm really feeling good about my Aaron Rodgers for MVP.
Yeah, I like that too.
I think we're gonna see a lot more of that this year.
Yeah.
My Offensive Player of the Week is James Conner, putting up 159, I want to say, and 2 touchdowns. That's
a really good week.
That's really impressive.
Something we didn't expect out of a late round pick from a year ago.
From Pitt. I mean, I think I think the whole story has been no Le'Veon, but I think we should be looking at this as what can Conner bring to the table? Yeah. What kind of skills does Conner present? And how do the Steelers move on? Because I think it's kind of clear now. Le'Veon's not playing until week 10. Le'Veon's not playing until he absolutely has to.
Yeah, he will play 6 weeks with the Steelers, 7 weeks, and then the playoffs if they make it, which they probably will.
Yeah.
Do the Steelers leave James Conner and as their number 1 back, or do you say, all right, Le'Veon, you're back, you get to be number 1?
That's the thing. I'm curious.
I think Le'Veon would rather hold out than not be the starter. I think he'd rather just give up this entire...
See, that's the thing, that we can't just give up the entire year. I'm curious whether the Steelers will have him back. Like,
will they trade him?
See, okay, that's the thing. I don't think they trade him because I don't think anybody is going to trade for him because nobody's going to give up assets for somebody they can sign a year later.
Yeah.
But I'm curious whether they will just have him sit on their bench. They'll just be like, you screwed us over. We had a plan to have you our starting running back, and you screwed us. So now you're going to sit on the bench.
So he doesn't even dress.
Exactly. No. See, that's the thing. I bet he dresses because he has to dress to be on the. I think. Or if I'm gonna be, I'm not super technical on the rules, but I know he has to be on the roster
Yeah.
week 10.
I like the trade. I like the trade option. If they can, I think if I'm the Steelers right now, I go up to Le'Veon and say, listen, we're going to try to ship you out. We're not going to get a lot for you. We're going to try to ship you out. You tell me where you would think about signing, because that's the only way we're going to get anything for you. Otherwise, whenever you decide to come back, you can just sit on the bench fully dressed.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I just don't think anybody trades for him. I don't know who would.
They'd have to give up a little too much for, 6 weeks probably.
Exactly.
Does he even show up to wherever he's traded, or does he wait until
If
week 10 there as well?
If he wants to play for that, I think if it's like a Khalil Mack situation where they just trade him and then he gets there and he signs a long-term deal, like they decide, like, yeah, we're going to pay this guy.
It's just a matter of who wants to give something up for a free agent.
Exactly. For some, they can wait until next offseason to sign.
Yeah, like the Bears, like we said, they're kind of like trying to win now, so go get Khalil Mack because you don't know where he'll be.
And Khalil Mack's not an impending free. Those two situations are different.
those are
Khalil Mack
different.
wasn't an impending free agent.
Yeah,
Le'Veon's
that is a very true statement.
so I think we were talking about fake trades in our apartment last night. I think the Dolphins would be really fun to go get them.
Le'Veon was seen partying in Miami, so we know he likes it there.
Would make a lot of sense.
I think
Le'Veon's
Drake in a
Bears.
third gets you Le'Veon Bell.
Definitely. I think I don't think the Dolphins would do that.
No, me either.
But if they're really serious about getting Bell, that's the way to do it.
I don't know, but guys go to Miami to party all the time.
Exactly,
So, what does that really mean?
I don't think a whole lot, but
It's fun to think about.
Exactly. It's exciting to fantasize. Let's move on to defensive player of the week. Who'd you have for that?
Same game as Aaron Rodgers. I had Khalil Mack. He had that incredible strip sack and then the pick six off of Deshaun Kaiser, but he did both of those things in 2 out of 3 drives. So I think to go out and just if he's that dominant, I don't think we'll see anything quite like that against someone who's not Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah.
But it was still an incredible defensive performance. I think he's going to be real good for the Bears.
Oh, he's going to be awesome.
And I think he had a great week. So
I mean, I think that strip sack made up for the first round pick he had to give up, and then that interception made up for the second. And by week 1, he had more than.
I would say he single-handedly put the Bears in position to win that game, and they just did not hang on.
Exactly. So you can't give any fault to.
So
Khalil
that's
Mack
why
there.
my award goes to Khalil Mack.
That he's going to be so much fun to watch though. This year.
He looks good in the Bears uniform too.
Oh, he looks terrifying. Him and Roquan are going to be so much fun together.
Aesthetically, that's just
Exactly. Aesthetically, it's a great combo, and I am so happy to see him out of black and silver.
Yeah.
That makes me quite happy. Moving on to my defensive player of the week, I had a Harrison Smith, free safety for the Minnesota Vikings. He was all over the field on Sunday, giving Jimmy G major problems. He had 7 tackles, a pick, and a sack. He was just doing everything. He's the linchpin behind that dominant defense, and I think could carry them. As much as I love the Packers to an NFC North and maybe even a Super Bowl berth, I think they're that good.
Yep. I think you're right. I think they're on their way to doing something good, and I think Harrison Smith is definitely a key piece of that.
Yeah, he kind of defines everything they do. If we're being honest, his ability to just lock down the secondary allows all those other pieces to roam free and just kind of. I mean, they have so many talented Anthony. Sorry, whatchamacallit. And yes, Anthony Barr. He is just so talented in the middle of the field, and he can just lock up that area. And allowing Harrison Smith to control that deep secondary allows all these middle tier players to just.
If there's a defense that's going to give Rodgers trouble this year, it's the Vikings. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw the Bears do it yesterday or on Sunday too, so we'll see.
But twice a year, including next week, will be super fun.
Yeah. So special teams. We don't talk about special teams players a lot, so we thought it would be nice to acknowledge some of them.
Oh, definitely. So tell me who you have for the week.
I have 2 special teams players of the week. They are Jakeem Grant from the Miami Dolphins, and the other is Darius Jennings of the Tennessee Titans. They together they were the first players. It was the first time 2 kicks of 90-plus yards were run back in the same half since 2000. That's kind of a specific stat, but I thought it was a fun stat.
Yeah.
And both of those touchdowns played very key roles in their game. I don't think we've seen a special teams touchdown come into effect or be that important in a while.
No, definitely not. I would get behind that, yeah.
So the fact that they scored, that was huge for me. 2 other special teams touchdowns this week, both on punt returns. A little less impactful in their games, which is why I went with these 2 guys.
I like it. Speaking of punts, my special teamer of the week is Seahawks punter Michael Dixon. He is a rookie out of Texas, and he was the reason the Seahawks cut longtime fan favorite John Ryan this offseason. but he was awesome in his first NFL action. He had 6 punts, 4 of them within the pinning the opponents in their half of the 20. Or within their 20. What's the vernacular on that?
Inside.
Yeah, inside their 20. There we go. He also had a 68-yard boomer that pinned them inside their own 5. I thought that's just incredible.
That's really great. That's pretty impressive.
If you can consistently control your opponent's field position like that, for a team like Seattle that's going to struggle offensively, that is huge. Like, consistently putting your defense in prime situations to get points is going to be super beneficial. Like, I don't think we can underrate how huge a weapon Dixon's going to be for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point you're making right there.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see. I have never been as excited about a punter as I am about Michael Dixon. I think he's going to be a lot of fun, and how he changes games, I think will really drastically affect how we look at punters, especially elite ones like this. They can have a massive impact on the game.
It could change the game.
Exactly. So
If he's a Charger, do you get his jersey?
yeah, I would think about it. He's fun. He's a lot of fun, and considering how crappy our special teams have been, it'd be a welcome signing.
Kind of running out of time here. I think we have a couple minutes left to talk about what lies ahead in week 2.
Yeah, so I think there's a handful of really exciting games. The one, though, I am personally most excited for, Chiefs Steelers.
Me too.
I think that's going to be awesome. I think getting to watch Mahomes not go against your team is going to be super beautiful for me. I think he's going to light up the Steelers defense. I think this is going to be an absolute shootout. I think Mahomes goes for over 3 touchdowns. I think Roethlisberger goes for over 3 touchdowns. Whatever the over-under is for this game, I'm betting the over. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout. It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be really close, too.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, points-wise, I think probably decided by 6 or fewer points.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going the other way on this. I think it's going to be... if I'm going to be 100% honest, the score that pops into my mind for this game is like 52-37. I think this Chiefs offense is going to put up some ridiculous numbers. While nobody has any film on them, I think they're going to just light up the scoreboard.
I'm thinking like 42-36, somewhere around there.
Okay, I can definitely get behind that.
Because I think Roethlisberger is bad enough that they won't put up like 50.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's capable of doing that at this point in his career.
I think Roethlisberger keeps them in the game long enough to make it competitive, but throws them out of it with some back-breaking picks.
Yeah,
I just think that's where we're at with Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
That he can provide you some level of competency, but just you have to expect just 1 or 2 awful throws.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's going to be super fun to watch. But Vikings-Packers, I think, would be the conventional most exciting game. That's going to be super fun as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's at Lambeau Field, so that'll be good for Aaron Rodgers. If he plays, I heard from someone he thinks there's a 70% chance he starts this week. I think that's pretty good. Pretty great to hear if you're Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, love to hear it. And that's going to be such a great matchup, him versus that defense. I mean, we just talked about at length how great that Minnesota defense is.
Yeah, that'll be the defense that holds Rodgers back, I think.
Exactly, and so that'll be super fun to watch.
I'm inclined to say the Packers at home.
Exactly. In doubt, I would go with the home team.
Yeah.
But I would not be shocked to see Kirk Cousins and company roll into Lambeau and steal a victory.
Yeah, that would not shock me either.
I mean, if they can cash in on some of the opportunities the Bears didn't. I mean, like we said, the Bears had opportunities to win that game, and the Vikings are certainly better than the Bears.
Yep. A game I'm excited for, it's an afternoon game, 1 o'clock Eastern, or a morning game for us out here in Arizona, but it's Panthers and Falcons. I think these are 2 teams that are about an equal caliber. I think that'll be a good competitive game. Maybe not the most exciting or watchable, but I think it'll be, something to keep an eye on just in terms of, fun divisional game too.
Definitely. I think the Falcons home opener against the Panthers. Panthers didn't look fantastic in their Week 1 win over the Cowboys.
Yep. I think these 2 teams are going to need all the wins they can get to fight for that wild card spot. So it could come down to a game like this.
Exactly.
So,
this is a huge game if we're talking
the
about
standings. Is very important. So that's why I like this game a lot.
Exactly. I think this game could have massive implications, including and we saw with Week 1 with the Buccaneers taking down the Saints. I mean, that's a division match. Wonky stuff can happen.
Yeah.
And this, I think, a loss here for the Falcons would really, starting off 0-2, losing to a division rival at home, that'd be a brutal. you hate to use the word must win in week 2, but like this is a much needed victory.
Yeah. I mean, the game I'm excited for, not because it's going to be good, but because it's going to be bad, is Chargers at Bills. Just based off of what happened last time those two teams played each other, I'm just curious to see what will happen again.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Josh Allen, first career start.
Yeah, that'll be cool to see. I hope Derwin James comes down with like 8 picks. That would be cool.
That would be exciting. That would be pretty cool. I think another fantastic game that I don't know how we haven't mentioned yet is Patriots heading to Jacksonville and playing the Jaguars.
Yep, the first time the Patriots are not favored in a game since 2016.
You mean Saxonville?
This ends to Saxonville, exactly. So, that's gonna be that is a mind blowing stat if we're being honest. That Patriots, that's crazy.
And it's crazy to think that the Jags are the team that did it to them.
Exactly. In 2016, if you had said, "Hey, when's the next time the Patriots aren't going to be favored?" If you said the Jaguars,
I would have laughed at you.
Your NFL fan pass would have got immediately taken away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game is a pick'em in Jacksonville.
I'm taking the home team.
Yeah, you're going with wow, going against Tom Brady. That's going to be such a great game.
Yep.
I think. I'm super curious to see what that Jaguars defense whips up.
I'm really excited. That'll be the game we have going on the other TV.
Oh, factual.
Jacob and I got this pretty good setup going. We have 2 TVs in our apartment.
Yeah, we might need to add more, though. I mean, looking at this 10 a.m. slate, it's going to be... There are so many great games.
Texans-Titans, if Watson and Mariota both, come back and have okay games, that'll be fun.
Exactly. And, okay. All kidding aside, Browns-Saints could be actually fun. If the Saints are as bad as they looked in week 1...
And the Browns play like they did against the Steelers?
Exactly. Yeah. Imagine the Saints starting 0-2 to the Buccaneers and the Browns. Wow.
That's rough.
Imagine
what
the Browns'
storyline.
First win and their second win in the last 2 years coming from...
On the road against the Saints.
Whew. I would say crazier things have happened, but I'm not sure if crazier things have happened than that.
Not very recently.
Yeah, so there are some awesome storylines going into week 2. I can't wait. I'm so happy football is back.
Me too.
I cannot overstate how much I miss this.
It was a great week 1. I almost feel like I might be let down by week 2, but then I look at the schedule and I'm like, there's
impossible,
no way.
Impossible, no way. There's too many great games that even if some of these are a dud, I think even a game like Eagles-Bucks could be really fun.
Yep. An Eagles-Bucks game I like to think about and also hate to think about. Flashback to when we were all in like 3rd grade and Matt Bryant, who's kicking for the Falcons now, hit a 62-yarder as time expired to beat the Eagles. That's what I think about when I think about the Eagles and Bucks. That's just me though.
Well, cool. I definitely don't think of that, but I'm glad you do, because that is the NFL trivia that people are that our listeners are looking for.
Yeah, I mean,
fun fact: when you're at your NFL parties on Sunday, you can bring that up.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can say, "Did you know that in 2006 the Bucks did this to the Eagles?"
Exactly. You will be the smartest person in the room.
And make sure to tell your friends where you heard it from.
That's what you should do. So wrapping up, any other week 2 proclamations you want to make?
I'm nervous about the Dolphins game, if we're talking about from a fan standpoint.
Yeah.
I was kind of confident after they beat the Titans. I think that was a good win. And then I saw Darnold tear apart the Lions. He was a lot better than I thought. So I think that Dolphins-Jets game is going to be a close one.
That's going to be awesome. I'm very curious to see how the New York fans take to Darnold. I think the fact that he's not opening his career there, and imagine if he had thrown that first career pass was an interception in New York. That would have been brutal. He would have been booed off the field. He would have had a completely different career. But the fact that he was in
plus that
field.
he did so well in that first game, I think I heard a Jets fan talking this morning about how in love he is with Sam Darnold. So they obviously already like him a lot, and I like him a lot too. That's a total 180 from where I was at a year ago. But after what I saw on Monday, I was wrong, Sam Darnold. You're good at football.
Yeah. Well, I think Sam Darnold can rest easy now, knowing he has your good wishes.
Yep, it's my thoughts that count to Sam Darnold.
Exactly,
obviously.
The only thoughts that count. And on that, guys, I think that wraps up. I can't wait for week 2. I'm so ready. I wanted to be here, but thank goodness. Thursday night football, Ravens-Bengals, coming to us tomorrow.
Also, maybe an exciting game.
Can't wait. It could be exciting. I'm not counting a whole lot on it.
I'm not holding out for it, but I hope it is.
Exactly. All right, have a good one, folks.